think sometimes you go into the bathroom and Wonder Woman pose, like, okay, I can do this. But
Wonder Woman.
you know, you just
Your power poses.
I'm familiar with Wonder Woman. I have seen the movie, by the way.
Okay, I would say that has to be on your list.
It's not on the list. It's not on the
my
list.
gosh,
But I
well-
just didn't know you hit the pose like that.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Voice of Business podcast. I am today's guest host, Melissa Ramirez, Senior Manager of Gwinnett Young Professionals. Gwinnett Young Professionals, as you all know, is a program of the Gwinnett Chamber where we help young professionals ages 21 to 35 connect, grow, and make an impact in our community. We'll hear more about GYP shortly. But we are happy to announce our new presenting sponsor, Vox Populi. They help bring brands to life through print, apparel, promotional products, and much more. Thank you, Vox Populi, for your partnership with the Gwinnett Chamber. I'm joined today by Cameron Barnhill and Jasmine Jackson, two young professionals doing amazing things in Gwinnett. Also on our advisory board, we're so thankful for y'all to be here today. I know I got the privilege to meet you, Jasmine, when I first joined GYP, yes. But I know you're a GYP veteran, so I'm excited to hear more about that. And then Cameron, I got to meet you not too long ago because you're new to the GYP group. So I'm very excited to be with you all today. And so I'm going to have Jasmine. Ooh. Can you introduce yourself first?
Yes. So I'm Jasmine Jackson, Community and Economic Development Director for the City of Lawrenceville. Been with them for 8 years. Very grateful for the connections and for being a part of today's show.
Awesome. Cameron?
I'm Cameron Barnhill. I'm a Business Development Manager at Jackson EMC. I work out of our Lawrenceville District office and excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. All right. So tell me a little bit. Jasmine, I'll start with you. Are you a Gwinnett native?
So yes, I actually went to Brickwood High School. I say yes and no, right? Wasn't born here, but I feel like Gwinnett shaped me most. I grew up in Snellville, Lawrenceville area, went to Brickwood High School. So I feel like it really made me, who I am today and just really shaped a lot of my thoughts and perspective and just my friendships long lasting. So
awesome. And what made you decide to build your career here in Gwinnett?
So funny. I think that when you graduate high school, a lot of people are like, I'm going to leave Gwinnett and never come back, or whatever the case may be. But I came back after college, saw an opportunity as an event coordinator for the City of Lawrenceville, really wanted to learn more about events, and then I just fell in love with government in the process, right? Like really being able to build and make an impact locally was really important to me, and I do that every day in my job. So it's very great to have a career that is also your passion in the same breath.
Yeah, and I know that they witness you evolve through your passions too, but it's great because you've seen Lawrenceville develop and evolve so much.
Yes.
Tell me more, is that a bit of why you decided to stay in Gwinnett?
Absolutely, and I think Gwinnett County in general has just done a really great job at just programming and plugging in their youth. But for me, it was really more so just leadership too. I have the privilege of just being around great leadership who continue to pour into its employees and just our community and want to see it shape and grow. And so for me, it was just more so like I want to be a part of that. And I think as a young professional, we are always wondering like ways that we can make an impact. And even as something as grassroots as being an event coordinator and being able to just program things and bringing a different perspectives and walks of life together has been a really cool experience for me. And that's also catapulted me into just other opportunities as well within my organization, as well as just within my peer groups and things of that nature and connecting to others. So I definitely think that played a part in it, and just being able to just meet really incredible people who are also doing really incredible things in their work and figuring out ways to plug in, connect, and just different things like that.
I love that. Yeah. Cameron, did you ever decide you wanted to leave Gwinnett, or what made you decide to stay in Gwinnett for your career?
I'm not actually from here.
Tell me more.
So I'm from a really small town southwest of the airport called Noonan, Georgia. And my dad's sister and one of my dad's brothers both live in Gwinnett County. So when Jackson EMC reached out to me, they mentioned that it's a requirement to move to Gwinnett. Everyone on our team lives in the community that we serve. So my Aunt Angel actually makes the best apple crisp in the whole wide world.
You heard it here
ever.
first.
Right. Call Angel.
It's the best. So shout out Aunt Angel. But I get to eat that every year, once for Thanksgiving and then once for Christmas, and that's like a 10-minute drive away. But not just her food. I mean, Gwinnett has some of the best food, the best people. It's one of the most diverse counties in the entire nation. And I learned a lot about Gwinnett in my time in my previous role at the Georgia Department of Economic Development. So in that role, it's my job to market all 159 counties to the state of Georgia. And if anybody that's listening wanted to guess what county that everybody wanted to come to, it's easy. It's Gwinnett. So it's a place that everyone wants to be. There's happy people and good food, and my job keeps me here, but the people keep me happy and keep me engaged while I'm here as well. So happy to be here.
I love that. And I think there's also so much to do. I don't know about y'all, but I always thought, like we have to go to the city or we have to go other places. We don't have to go too far to go to awesome concerts, get great food like you mentioned. But also, does Angel have a business? Because we need to get her at the chamber.
No, her full-time job is not cooking, but it really, really could be.
Yeah.
So.
Well, when she's ready to go into the entrepreneurial world, know that she can come to the chamber and we'll support her too. Our foundation in Lawrenceville.
We will welcome her with open arms.
That implies that I'll be sharing her cooking. So I'm not really sure if I can do that.
Maybe one day.
Maybe
we'll
one
cross our
day.
fingers.
Maybe.
Okay, so you did mention being in the economic development space, and I did see that they have even their own young professionals group. But Cameron, tell me how being engaged in young professionals groups has helped you in your career, and if you can take that one step further into GYP, how has that played a role in your career? It's
been a big catalyst for me in my career. So when I first started, I started my career at 22. I was a project manager of business development, and I went to my very first GEDA conference. Jasmine and I were just down in Savannah last week, and it's an annual conference. And I stood up in front of everyone in the room, and I asked a question. And my question was, I'm new, I'm on the younger side. How do I meet people? And you'd be surprised how many people that aren't, not in my age range came up to me and introduced themselves to me. But all of them kind of echoed the same tonality, which was, hey, if you want to get connected, try to meet other young people like you, and you'll bat a couple eyelashes, and you'll turn around and you'll blink and you'll wake up and you're going to be my age, and you're going to be the people in the room, and there's going to be someone just like you that stands up and asks a similar question. So it really lit a fire in me to find other people that are inspiring and inspired by what we do and how to connect with one another. So you're right. GEDA does have a young professionals organization, and we're all very close-knit group, but there's something about having it in one area like Gwinnett. So I'm excited to be a part of what we do and create opportunities for other young people. Yeah,
that's really cool. And Jasmine, I want to hear the same from you. I just know that when I graduated college, I was like, how do you make friends as an adult, right? Like when you're adulting, when you're at work, where do you meet new people? How do you learn what other people do if it's not just in your wheelhouse? So it's nice to hear that your career evolved to the point that they're like, go and meet other people in these spaces so that you can make friends as an adult. But really your network gets expanded. But Jasmine, tell me, how has I know you're very involved in the community, both of you are. So tell me, how has being involved in young professionals, organizations, and programs helped your career?
I'll piggyback off of Cameron, because last week in Savannah, that was my first time going to the conference, and young professionals are coming out in droves. It was really great. It was awesome to see, and just meeting people and just continuing to connect. But for me, it's been really wonderful to just be a part of GYP, and just also, I feel like I grew up alongside of GYP, to be completely honest, Gwinnett Young Professionals. I feel like I grew up alongside because I started in Lawrenceville about 8 years ago, and I had an incredible director who said, hey, let's get you out there. Let's, start connecting to people, start meeting people, come to chamber events, just, kind of getting yourself out there to meet more people. And GYP was one of those that, I plugged into, grateful for that. And I feel like I got to grow up alongside the program, grow up alongside my peers. And honestly, even now, in my beautiful big age, I feel like there are people that I have still maintained friendships with, connections with, and can call up and say, hey, we have this challenge going on at work, or we have this incredible opportunity. How can we plug you in, So I feel like it's allowed for me to connect to people beyond just my wheelhouse of government, right? Yeah. I mean, obviously, community development, economic development, there's so many different things I'm privileged to touch every day. But a lot of that doesn't happen without bringing people together, organizations together. And so a lot of those things that I get to do, I get to connect with young professionals on, or even watch their business grow alongside of what we're just doing as championing business in totality. So that's been really incredible. And I think that it also allows for me to pour into just my team, who are also in the wheelhouse of GYP, that 21 to 35. Being able to have them also start with us and then go through GYP journey and just be able to figure out their leadership skills and how they want to best manage or just lead. I think that's an incredible opportunity for them too, that I'm also able to provide and support as well, and have that experience of, this is what I went through. Well, I went through Leadership Institute, so there was a rebrand in the process. But just being able to have shared connections and shared experiences has been really great too.
I think you were talking about journey because yes, it used to be Leadership Institute and it's evolved. So one day maybe you'll experience it, Cameron.
Come on, Cameron.
We'll recruit you. We'll
Maybe
see.
so.
We'll have to see how we can bring you in. But you're doing a lot right now. So when you're ready, know that we'll be here until you're 35.
Thanks, Melissa.
But our Journey Leadership Institute is something that we are very proud of because, like Jasmine said, it's really nice. You went through it and what was its first version, and now you get to send your team through it. So tell me a little bit more about what you went through when it was Leadership Institute, but why now that it's rebranded as Journey, you send your team through it.
Yeah, when I went through it, we really focused on the business aspect and learning about leadership within businesses, right? But like also learning about how we wanted to show up as leaders when we got to that point. I think we're all leaders in some form or fashion. It doesn't just come with a title, right? And so it was really cool. Fun fact, my project, we did it with Jackson EMC. So
fun.
Jennifer Fennell and their team, we got to meet with all of them and just hear about their leadership structure, how they pour into their team, how they, cultivate trainings and leaderships and workshops and things of that nature. And that was really cool to kind of get an understanding of just how other organizations pour into their team. No matter what your age, race, whatever the case may be, everyone is getting training that really helps catapult them into the next steps for their career. And that was really interesting for us. And so we had to report on it at the end, do the whole let me tell you about Jackson EMC thing, and that was pretty cool. I think another team did a project on the City of Lawrenceville, so it was really cool also to see that people were deep diving into just organizations across the board. But then with the rebrand, I think what's really cool about that is now you're also cultivating within yourself. It's not just, hey, leaders, how are you pouring into your team? It's like, how do I want to show up as my best self, as my most authentic self in my company, in my roles? And if I really like it, I want to be able to spread this across and share with more people. And so it's been really cool to hear my team that have gone through it say, oh, we had the best time doing improv at the Lawrenceville Art Center, or we had the best time learning about, our voices and how we best show up, and just different things like that. We did a little bit of that within Leadership Institute, but I know that with just staffing changes and things of that nature, it has been able to really, provide more of a sense for young professionals as well. So I think we're all on the backs of others, and it's really great to see the program continue to grow over time.
I love that. And Cameron, just to fill you in so that you don't get too much FOMO.
He should totally get FOMO.
I have a little bit of FOMO.
You should, as you should. Well, Journey is designed, it's a 9-month program where we do a lot of learning about ourselves to lead ourselves and others. So it's a lot of, no matter what industry you're in, your peers have gone through it. I know you know that. But we have people in government and utilities and the trade. I mean, like so many things, business owners that they go through this and they become better leaders from it. Whether they're leading a team right now or they're on the pipeline to lead a team, they really learn a lot about how do they communicate with their teams, how do you overcome these dysfunctions, or just really how to communicate with your team on the spot with improv, which don't get scared if that's what I know you probably wouldn't be afraid of an improv workshop. I don't think you'd be the one to be afraid.
Maybe I'm really shy, Melissa.
I doubt that.
I tell you, I'm so glad I'm not going through it because I would be.
Well, that's everyone's favorite.
I would rather not do this.
That was everyone's favorite. So
but
for those of you listening,
come back and they are. I think that one always gets the highest ratings because they come back and they're just super excited about, let me tell you about what we did. And it was interesting because I was nervous about it in the beginning, but I felt really comfortable at the end of it. So that's really cool to hear just my team and just other people that I've also know that's gone through the program share more about it. So
and we'll never put you on the stage for it. You won't be alone. Again, just trying to bring you into this. Okay.
Thanks, Melissa.
But no, it is a really great program, and I'm so thankful that you have seen its value in your team because you're a growing leader. You've continued to grow, and as you've been in Lawrenceville for those 8 years, how cool for them to trust you with the opportunity to send your team through that. And also a really great part about GYP, which you mentioned, is that bridge into the chamber. Did either of y'all, well, probably y'all did, but many of your peers, did either of y'all knew what a chamber did prior to graduating college or prior to entering your careers?
Oh, no. Not prior to getting in my career, no.
Yeah, I knew a little bit, but not enough the way that not as engaged or involved as I am now. I didn't know anything near that.
Exactly. And that's one of my favorite things about GYP is I had no idea either. Like, I know like, where I'm from, I'm Colombian. So in Colombia, it was like, oh, a chamber of commerce. It's a really fancy job. But I didn't study business. And so I was like, what am I supposed to do at a chamber? That makes no sense. But you were mentioning economic development and our young professionals and the community that we're part of. If we stay in certain places, we get to stimulate these economies. We get to go to these local restaurants and businesses. And so chambers of commerce create that kind of culture and stimulate those economies. So I love GYP because it helps us realize, maybe in a different way, that we do belong in these spaces too, that our voices matter, and that we're part of the economy that develops these communities too.
Yeah.
And so we try really hard at GYP to make it a fun environment where it's not maybe everybody has to be in a blazer or just business talk, but more, hey, meet a person who one day might have a job opportunity where you can climb, or maybe you have a very scary interview that you're terrified because it's your first managerial role. Well, you have two friends right here who could probably tell you, hey, here's how I took that opportunity and that challenge, right? What's your mantra when you go to these interviews? So that's one of the things about GYP that to me stands out. And I know I'm biased because I work here, but that's why I love it, because chambers don't have to be this intimidating place for young professionals, and rather it's where we can speak up and build our community for us so that we don't feel the need to go. And I just spoke about what gets me excited about Gwinnett's business and future, but tell me, what excites you most? Cameron, I'll go start with you. What excites you the most about the future of Gwinnett's business community and your role in it?
What excites me the most? That's a great question. I would say our robust talent pipeline. So I mentioned that it's a place that people want to live, work, and play, but it's also a place that people want to move to go do those things. So people want to be here, want to live here. You're seeing a lot more apartments, and you're seeing a lot more single-family homes being put up around the community. And my role in it, I hope to stay as involved as I can in GYP for as long as I can, until I get over that age threshold, which is for a few more years. But in my role at Jackson EMC, I mean, it's important for us to be able to keep the lights on and provide power at the lowest possible cost, and keep the lights on and be reliable. That's something we pride ourselves in, but just want to be someone that's able to support the community. So one thing I'm very blessed to be able to do in my role is go around the community and speak to people. And I think I have a little bit of a hero complex. I was really into comic books as a kid, and I like to be one of the go-to people that whenever there's an issue or there's a problem, I can put out that fire, or I can put them at ease, and I can make the situation better. I just like to help people. So there's no better place to do that than Gwinnett County, because every community, has great people and has all these things that are going on. But at the end of the day, we're all imperfect people, and there's going to be something that will inevitably go wrong. So being able to be there to help is something I enjoy the most, I'd say, from being here.
I love that.
Yeah.
What about you? What gets you excited about the future of Gwinnett and your role in it?
Yeah, I think that's a very loaded question that can take about 10 hours to speak about.
Oh, yeah.
But I agree. I think the pipeline is incredible. I think being able to build that, like I mentioned with GYP, that peer-to-peer sphere is really incredible. I think in my role, I really love the connectivity part of it. Every business, every resident, every visitor of Lawrenceville, everybody that comes and shops, dines, goes to a show, whatever the case may be, my job is really to make sure that you feel like you have a sense of place when you're coming to Lawrenceville, right? That's kind of like what I always say as just a wraparound for it. And so being able to touch so many different things and having a team of just incredible colleagues who are also doing incredible and making impact in the community as well. I think the connectivity of it all, right? Gwinnett County is so big. It's big but small, right? And so when I go to different events or go to different chamber events or just go to different work events, and being able to connect and see people that, when you first walk into something, you may be a little nervous, but you're excited because you actually know these people now that you're getting to know them more and more. And so I just get excited about connecting more and figuring out ways to just further our community. Lawrenceville obviously is my main, but then Gwinnett as a whole, because whatever happens in Gwinnett also impacts the cities. And so we really want to make sure that even from a local level, we're all talking, we're all on the same page. What's happening in your community, it may impact us over here. I love being able to just connect with people that are also in my same field to get an understanding of what are the trends, what's happening in your world. I mean, we're kind of competitors in some ways because we have a utility, we have electric, and obviously Jackson EMC, but being able to pick their brains about what's going on and what they're seeing in trends, and I think that's an incredible thing, and that's what makes, I think, Gwinnett so beautiful in a way that we're continuously connecting to one another and really making sure that the things that we're doing in the community are really making an impact that's not only, drawing people from across the state or across the country, but just also impacting our local community every day as well. So I think that's what most excites me. I don't know, what may happen 10 years from now, but I know that the best part about it is that our voices today get to shape that in the future.
I love
so that's
that.
pretty fun.
That's so great. Yeah. Do y'all remember, you're from Newnan, so I don't know if you remember, but do you remember when the water tanks, the Success Lives Here?
Yes.
I mean,
I totally remember that. Those things were so cool.
Those were like just incredible. Yes, I do remember
incredible.
that.
I don't remember
We'll
like
send you a picture.
the moment
Thank you.
that it went away that I was like, wait, like those towers aren't there, but Success still lives here.
Success still lives here. Fun fact, shameless plug for the city of Suwanee. They have a piece of that in their new town center.
That's true.
So
in their park?
In their park,
Yeah.
yes. So I would just recommend if you really want to go see it, you should go there.
Yes, and visit our friends.
Yes, visit our
over
friends.
there. You mentioned Hero Complex. You like to be a hero. So actually, I wanted to use that to pivot a little bit because both of you have won our 35 Under 35 awards. So for those of you who are watching and may not know, our 35 Under 35 is our annual gala where we celebrate the accomplishments and achievements of our young professional community. So tell us a little bit more about what that meant for you when you won that award. Cameron, we'll start with you, and then Jasmine, because I know you got the GYP of the year in the past. But Cameron, tell me about what that meant for you and what you hope is next for you.
So, great question. So I'm one of those people that is always relentlessly pursuing whatever's in front of me. And it's really hard for me to stop and smell the roses. And my favorite thing about the event is it's an event that exists specifically for you to do that. I mean,
Yes.
you come in, the way it's created is you don't really know if you won anything or not when you show up. So I mean, it's like, well, if I want to know that I won or not, I kind of need to come and see and find out. And I'm someone that is always relentlessly pursuing what's in front of me, but I have, two really great parents that I'm thankful to still have in my life that are, made me and helped me get to where I'm at in my life. And so while I might be so focused on what I'm chasing, I'm not really into any of accomplishments that I may obtain over the course of my career. My parents, on the other hand, tell everyone under the sun about everything their son does. So for me, it was really cool to be able to send them photos of it. And say, hey, look what your son did. And they're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to brag about this all week to my coworkers. So I'm not a parent, but I like to think that there's something really special about seeing something that you spend all this money and time and energy into grow up and start doing things that really make you proud. And it makes up for all those long nights working on homework and different things like that. So it was really more of a way for me to stop and smell the roses, but really just to say thank you to my family.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and I mean, GYP's awards, like those 35 Under 35 awards were meant to recognize people who are doing wonderful things in their industry or in their community. So how great that at your young age you can get an award, because sometimes that is what puts you on a radar to get that promotion, to get that opportunity of leadership. So not that you needed that to get it, but for others, that is what puts them on the radar for that opportunity. So that's wonderful, and it is so well deserved. I'm glad you got to enjoy that last year.
Thanks.
Jasmine, GYP of the year.
Very grateful for that. I agree with Cameron. I think there's a sense of you just doing the work and just keeping your head down and just doing what you love. And I've been very blessed to do what I love for the last several years. And so I think that in the midst of being awarded that opportunity, I think you're also around your friends and peers who see it in you, but you're just like, I'm just doing what I love. Like, thank you for the cheers and the applause and the celebration. But when you do what you love, good things will come. And so my mantra has always been, whatever I touch will turn to gold. I truly believe that. And so I'm very grateful for the experience and just for it being recognized by my peers. I think that's the biggest piece for me as well. Yes, I think my dad's also the same. He's going to share that on his Facebook. He just got a Facebook, and oh my gosh. And my grandpa and like just my family, they're always celebrating me and cheering me on. And I think you're your family and your friends, they see a lot of great things in you that you may not see in yourself. And so sometimes those awards are more of that recognition within yourself, that introspection of saying like, I am doing good work.
Yeah.
You know, I know that I've just been keeping my head down and just staying the course, but you know what? Maybe I should take a moment to smell the roses and really be grateful in this season of life and be more present versus being so future oriented all the time. But it's been really cool to be able to be even recognized by my peers. I think that was a huge thing for me. Being able to look around the room and there were friends that, like I said, I grew up in GYP, I felt like. And so being able to see my friends also celebrate alongside and then being able to celebrate friends, I think that's an incredible thing to do. And that's what this award kind of cultivates in the process too. Because yes, it's, 35 under 35, obviously it's for young professionals, but there are also people outside of that range who are also in attendance.
Yep.
And them celebrating alongside of you and seeing things within you that you may not have saw in yourself, I think it's a really incredible thing as well. So I think this award and just the creation and curation of the event has truly grown over time from what it was truly intended to be as well.
Yeah, and it's really wonderful to see the nominations come in,
Yes.
and some people get nominated multiple times, and it's just really encouraging because we do have cheerleaders in our community rooting for us and our growth, and so how great that not only do they nominate you, but they come and join you, they come and celebrate you.
Yes.
So for anybody interested in coming this year, tell your network, tell everybody's network. But on October 16th, we're going Tell me something that you wish leaders knew when they're managing a young professional, because I'm sure both of you have probably been one of the youngest people, if not the youngest person in the room. So I'll start with, what are some things that you wish your leaders or other leaders knew when it comes to managing a young professional?
Ooh, there's so many things. I think what comes first to mind is that we're watching everything, right? I've been under leaders who I'm like, oh, I do not want to manage that way. I've been under leaders that I'm like, oh, I want to be just like them when I grow up, just because there's good and bad, right? It's like figuring out ways to manage people versus projects, how you want to be a people leader. I think that's a huge thing. And every leader that I've been under and that I'm continuously, like even in my current role, I continue to watch their creativity, how they solve problems, how they're connecting the dots on things. And I'm grateful to have great leadership, but that is not always everyone's story, right? And that's not always been my story. And so I think I've learned a lot over time by just observing. I think there's times where sometimes you want to walk into the room and you want to change everything. You want to be the loudest voice in there and you want to just, hey, I'm going to make my impact like this. But the reality is that sometimes when you sit back and just watch and listen, you learn everything you need to know about an organization too. And so I've been very intentional just doing that with the leaders that I'm under, that I've been under in my previous roles and just my current role, just to figure out ways of how I want to best lead as I continue in my career. And I would hope that my team and people that I'm around also are watching me, right? Because you want to embody some of the things that, you've watched over time and be the best example, but it's also I always say call someone up and not out. And so figuring out ways to call up your skill sets and your adaptability to challenges and things of that nature too. So watch and listen more than you speak, just because that's what young professionals I think are doing a lot more now too, to figure out ways that they want to show up and be their most authentic selves in their roles.
I love that. Cause I just heard advice for both the leader and the young professional being led, right? Like be a leader, lead by example and make sure that you are aware that, you're being observed and learned from. But as that young professional evolving and growing, also be mindful that you are being observed, you're setting up, you're giving that hand up while others are walking you up too. So that's awesome. Cameron, what about you? What are some things that you wish a leader knew when it came to managing a young professional?
I would say we are your mirrors. And I think that everyone who's younger than you has an opportunity to teach you something. And I think we're constant reminders of, hey, I know you're really successful. You are where you are in your life and you're happy where you are, but just remember this is where you used to be. So it's a constant reminder to be compassionate, to be empathetic, to be nurturing to whatever they might be going through, whatever's stressing them out. And I think it's an opportunity for for them to really understand that, you know, stereotypes, although they can be very accurate, should be left at the door. I mean, anyone who's in a different generation above a, you know, generation that's below them makes all these, you know, crazy statements. And I can remember my parents talking about how great their generation was and how we're lazy or how we're this or how we're that. And it's pretty hard to be defined by your peers and by an entire generation of people when we're all so very different with our backgrounds, with our parents and whatnot, and our you know, our backgrounds. So it's one of those things where I think we have all these assumptions we make before we get to really know someone. And I mean, I could tell you guys right now, hey, I know someone that'd be great for this job, but they're 22 years old. Everyone in here is already thinking, what do they look like? How are they dressing? What's their social media look like? Like, there's all these questions and things we think we know about someone just because of how old they are. So I think it would be great if leaders understood that your age does not define you and that you can learn from each other.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so valid. And I don't want to put you on the spot, but are you considered Gen Z or millennial? Because I know we're millennials.
You know it.
So again, they found another way to leave me out. So FOMO again, but I actually don't know. People say that I'm Gen Z, but I will say this. I have an entire list of movies to watch on my phone. It's like a fun fact about me because as the youngest person at a lunch table, at a dinner table, at a networking reception, they talk about their kids and their grandkids. And I'm like, hang on, I'm going to be a part of this conversation. So one of my networking things I'll do is I'll ask people, you know, what's a movie that you've seen, that you love, that you would expect me not to have seen with my age?
It's a good question.
That's a really good question.
And it's very thought-provoking. You can, take it. And people will sit there and rattle off like 16 movies. And I have a very, very long list, and a lot of movies I need to watch whenever my life gets a little less busy. But yeah, no, it's a way to kind of bring people together because I think entertainment kind of brings everyone together. Yeah. There's movies that you can appreciate that weren't around or that were around before you were born. And it's always funny to see someone's face change completely when I surprise them. And I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen that before. And I'll like make a movie quote or whatever. And it's almost like it validates you or it, it puts you in a place where you guys are on equal footing.
Right.
So finding that equal business stature is something I think young professionals are always pursuing.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to ask you all, what are some things you do? So, when you're the youngest person in the room to kind of keep your confidence, because I know I've been a little nervous sometimes when I'm the youngest person in the room. So that sounds like a really great idea. Jasmine, do you have any tips of like how to manage when you're the youngest person in the room?
Yeah, I had the best advice years ago, because I used to hate networking and walking into rooms with people that I do not know used to give me anxiety. It was a lot. And I had a previous mentor of mine tell me, you already have something in common. You're human, I'm human, we both breathe air, And so I continuously think through that. Like, okay, even if I don't know anyone in this room, if you're at the coffee table, I love coffee, so let's grab, I'm going to probably, chat with you there. Or if you're at this networking event or something that's tailored to education or something of that nature, we clearly are both invested in what's going on in this room. So me talking to you feels a little less pressure because of that reason. So I don't think I have one particular thing. I love that idea though about the movie. I think that's really great. That's a good icebreaker, but I do try to keep myself on level playing field too. I think sometimes you go into the bathroom and Wonder Woman pose, like, okay, I can do this, but
Wonder Woman,
your
power pose.
I'm familiar with Wonder Woman. I have seen the movie. By the way,
I would say that has to be on your list.
It's not on the list. It's not on the list.
Gosh,
but I just didn't know you hit the pose like that.
Back in the day.
Okay.
But I think there is something about just going into a space and, not thinking to yourself that because you're the youngest one in the room, you have no business being here, because you're the youngest one in the room, you should be here. Like you should be able to connect and learn from someone and also teach in the process. And you guys are on even playing fields because you're human, I'm human. We're both breathing air. So that's been very helpful over my journey of networking. And also, my previous director was very much like, what don't you like? And I said, networking, and she put me in everything. So find you a leader who is also, yes, seriously. Find you a leader who's also, wants to see growth and wants to see you grow personally and professionally, and says, okay, what don't you like? We're gonna cultivate that. We all have weaknesses, and we don't let our weaknesses define us. And so having leadership that also says, okay, I wanna cultivate you as a leader as well. Let's put you in things that make you uncomfortable because they're gonna make you comfortable in the long run. Has been a really great journey for me.
I love that. Well, thanks to both of you. Y'all are great ambassadors of GYP, but y'all are also wonderful board members. I'm so thankful that I've gotten to know you and work with you through my job. I really have said it in private, now I say it here. I love this job because I really get to meet and work with some awesome people for a place that I love and watch me grow up. So thank y'all for being here. And thank you for all that you do for our communities. Like, how cool when I get to walk around all these cities. I'm like, oh, Jackson EMC, oh my gosh, I have a friend that works there. Lawrenceville, like, my baby's daycare's there. Oh my gosh, Jasmine. And like Swanee, right? It's like, our friend is there too.
Yes.
It's so wonderful to see all the marks that you all leave in our community, and how empowering to know that we're young, but we're also shaping our community so that those future generations get to enjoy it and live in it and just treasure what we get to
Absolutely.
treasure, because we're here because we have the choice to be here, and if we're staying in it, it's because there's something great about it, and there's so much greatness. So thanks for all the work that you all do, and I'm so thankful that y'all are involved in the chamber and helping me bring more people into this chamber, because it is a great place to be. All right, thank you both so much for being here and for chatting with me today. Thanks to our sponsors, Vox Populi and Capital Restoration. And again, as a reminder, our 35 Under 35 awards are around the corner. Our finalists are going to be announced soon. And we can't wait to have a great time. There's going to be a dance floor, a DJ, live music, food, drinks, everything. You do not have to be under 35 to come to this event. You do not have to be a finalist or a winner. We hope to see young professionals, leaders of young professionals there. And thank you so much for being part of GYP and the Chamber.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.